Well, as we enter closer and closer to the halfway stage of the season, and I feel like if the form carries on the way it has been going lately, which is very, very, very good, we're 8 games unbeaten, I reckon we can easily finish in the playoffs. Hello, welcome to Club 2, part 16 of the Global Explorer. Coming up in today's episode, we do have our championship victories against Burnley and Crystal Palace. We do have Grimsby and Exeter Sandridge in between, but they're both relegation favourites. There's no point in playing them. I think we actually played Grimsby last game of the season, so that match might be coming up in a few episodes by the time. But this has been the form since the last episode. We played quite a lot of football games, and the form has started to pick up a bit. We picked up a few wins. We've actually only picked up 3 wins, but we picked up a lot of points. We've only picked up the wins against Preston, Swansea, Stoke, and Derby. That's 4 wins, not 3. Then we have four 1-all draws on the bounce, which obviously it's still unbeaten, but I'd like to have won those games. If we had won some of them games, the league table might look a bit different, but we did just draw 0-0 against Exeter, which I think we really should have personally battered them. No hard feelings against Exeter, they're just not a championship team. They are rock bottom, and Grimsby are 23rd. That's why I'm not showing you them matches. We are currently in 11th, 21 games played, 31 points on the board. We are only 1 point behind Bristol City, so it feels like, because the fact we've drawn so many games, I thought we'd be actually further away from the playoffs, but no, we've actually started to close the gap. So potentially by the end of today's episode, we could be in the playoffs. We could even be second. I mean, if we had won those 5 draws that we had, we would have that would have put us an extra, probably, I'm struggling to do the maths. It would have put us up to 41 points. So potentially could have been third or second. So that's not too bad. We have done a little bit of, well, we have made one signing. He's a free transfer, which is why we were able to do it. I'm not sure how nobody's picked him up, but we have signed Nicholas Arce. I presume it's Arce or Arce, because he is Argentinian. He is a right winger, can also play out on the left. Not great with his effort, but very strong with his right. 4 stars of current ability, 4.5 star potential. Good Premier League player. Could improve slightly. He comes in on a free transfer from Man United. Man United paid £9 million for this guy, and now he's just joined West Brom on a free transfer. Only 24 years old. I mean, that is quite scary. So this is the lineup for our match against Burnley. It is Sinisano in goal, a back 4 of Elaine, Gilchrist, Barr, and Silva. Kelly at the base of the midfield. Then we've got Price and Bellingham ahead of him. Then we've got Young out on the right, Arse on the left. Arse. I think it is officially Arse. He's playing out on the left today because I feel like that was the area that they just strengthened, because Axel Dogan and Kamara, let's be honest, they're not that great. They're not really League One. They're not really champion. They are championship standard, but the bottom end of the championship. Then we've got Bexley up front, but hopefully he can start scoring some goals, because McNeil, who's waiting in the wings, he's got 10 goals. Bexley with 7, but I'm sure Bexley will start to score more and more goals as we get into the second half of the season, because you know what happened last year, albeit we were in League One, not the Championship, but Bexley had a horrid first half of the season where he couldn't score to save his life. Then the second half, absolutely unstoppable, got at least a goal a game, maybe a goal every other game, then some matches getting 2 goals, which was extra nice. So hopefully we see the same Bexley from where he left off in the last season, hopefully, but it might not go to plan. I suspect he probably won't be with us for very long. He might be with us, but he probably won't be starting most games next season. And Crane has got the ball for Burnley. Lane has the shot, and thankfully it was well over the top of the crossbar. Whoever are Burnley in the league, just out of interest, if they're above us, they are just a little bit above us. Same number of points. So there's 5 teams on 32 points. This league This league is actually incredibly tight. It's certainly the middle of the table. The top half, I mean the top four, not so tight, but it's still very, very tight. A few wins and we're in the playoffs, but a few defeats, we're closer to the relegation zone, which is not nice, which I don't think we've got any chance of getting relegated this season. I'm fairly sure we're gonna be in the championship next year, or at least West Brom will be. Whether I will be remains to be seen. It depends how good of a job I do this season. If we get promoted, there's always a chance we could potentially be headhunted. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. Obviously, the objective for this save is to very much win the Champions League, whether that's with West Brom or some other team. The Women's Champions League does not count, even if we do win it. Has to be the men's. Could be both. Both would be absolutely, absolutely brilliant. But this save end does end when we would do win the Champions League. Hopefully, none of the West Brom players are listening to this while I'm saying that, because they're in the Championship. We're in the Championship. They think I'm insane right now because I'm talking about the Championship, Champions League, mid-match in the Championship. We're not even there yet. I like to think we'll be in the Premier League within a couple of years, so whether that's with West Brom or a different team. Preferably West Brom because they've got some decent players, some decent players with great potential ability and great potential to be Premier League players. Young with the strike, I don't know why he's shooting from there. You got players in front of him where he probably could have passed with a better option. Bellingham out to Elaine. Come on, get it into the box, please. Elaine spins this man and couldn't quite find the right pass. And Bellingham with the header straight to a Burnley player. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. And Austin has got the ball. Burnley are on the break now on the attack. Crosses it in and Raul Garcia, unfortunately, puts the ball into the back of the net. I think Bellingham is probably to blame for that goal because of his stupid header to a Burnley player, which led to them going on the attack. If Bellingham just, I mean, he could have just headed it out of the pitch, and I'm sure all of this would have been avoided. But half an hour left to go. We are 1-0 down. We are going to make a couple of changes. Ars is going to come off. He's very tired. He's barely played any football this season, if not any, because he's just signed for us. Kamara is going to come on, and I do think Alain is also going to make way for Kane Ramsey. And I think final change for now will be we'll get on McNeil for Bexley because Bexley hasn't really performed that well this game. Half an hour left to go. I still feel like we can definitely grab an equaliser. We have dropped some encouragement in the hope we can try and create a few more chances. I'm where we're on a balanced mentality. I don't know if this is the best way to go forward. We'll stick on the balanced mentality. If we do have to switch to positive, we will. I suspect it's probably a little too late for that. 15 minutes left to play. We are going to make a couple more changes. Our final changes of the game will be Silva off for no one because we don't have a left back on the bench, so Silva can just stay on. I think Daniel Kelly will make way for. We'll get on Chris Rigg. Not really a defensive mid, but he can play there, and I think we'll get on Indiana Merritt for Gilchrist, who probably should be starting ahead of him. So I think Merritt probably starts in the next two games against Crystal Palace. Might be a different question because obviously they are top of the league, and we have already beaten them this season, albeit just a 1-0 win, but we have beaten Crystal Palace. Let's see if we can do the double over them. Obviously, that match will be coming up next because we're not going to worry about Exeter and Grimsby because they're nothing. I mean, we could beat Exeter, but I'm sure we could beat them, at least try and beat them. If not beat them both, that would be absolutely spectacular because I suspect this match is going to end in a 1-0 defeat of Ramsey with some great opportunities there, but unfortunately couldn't quite put the ball into the back of the net. We actually ended the match with, possession was 50-50. I mean, that's just an absolute joke. 14 shots, 6 on target. Somehow couldn't put the ball into the back of the net, which has happened on so many occasions this season. That has ended our unbeaten run of 5 draws and 3 wins. Absolutely, I think we were robbed of at least a point. I think Ars will be a good player once he gets some game time into him. I reckon if he can get at least a goal and assist against Exeter in both games or one game, or ideally both, that would be great. If those 2 games can be a win, we might be in the playoffs by the time of the next match. That would be absolutely unbelievable. So hopefully those 2 games are wins, and hopefully we go in to the game against Crystal Palace on the back of 2 wins. Well, as predicted, we do go head into our match against Crystal Palace on the back of 2 wins. They were only small wins, but still, we got the 3 points, both against Grimsby, and that's to 2-0 win against Grimsby, where the goals came from Paul Young and Abdullahi Kamara. Then we narrowly clinched a 1-0 victory over Exeter. I'd say narrowly clinched the victory. We were pretty dominant in the stats, where we recorded 23 shots, 12 on target, whereas Exeter only have 1 shot on goal. So how it was only ever 1-0, I do not know. So this is the lineup for our match against Crystal Palace. It will be Sinisano in goal, a back four of Elaine, Gilchrist, Muritz and Silva, Kelly at the base of the midfield. Then we've got Price and Bellingham, Ars on the right, Kamara on the left. Then we've got Bexley up front. A little bit of sad news. Ivan McNeil will be departing us at the beginning of the transfer window. So if he comes on, that will be his final ever appearance, because I don't really see McNeil having a future here. So he is going back. He is being recalled. So I think our strikers going forward, at least for the second part of the season at the moment, will be Bexley and possibly Paul Young, because obviously with Ars playing out on the right, Paul Young, a really good striker, or potentially can play a striker. I don't see the reason why we have to keep McNeil, and obviously Paul Young can play as a channel forward, same role as Bexley, which is very, very good. So hopefully he might have a good run of games up front while Bexley is probably... I don't think he's ready to start every game. He's a little too... He's not young. He's young-ish. Was he like mid-20s? But I don't think he's realistically ready to start every game in the championship. So that's why we're going to have Paul Young as our second striker. Then obviously Ars will be playing out on right pretty much week in, week out, because he is absolutely brilliant. He didn't play against Exeter. He was having a little bit of a rest, like most of our first team. We were playing pretty much a rotated 11, and we are 1-0 up against Crystal Palace. Barely a minute on the clock, and Jordan Beggs has got his first goal of the day. I tell you what, hat-trick incoming. If he can score like goals like that, assisted by Nicholas Ars. I don't know. I think it is Ars, but again, obviously he is Argentinian, so there might be a slight accent with the C. So it could be Ars. I don't know. We'll go with Ars. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I think it is Ars. I like calling him Ars. I like having a player called Ars. How many times have I said Ars in today's episode? With 20 minutes left to go of the first half. Just the first goal, only in the first minute. Apart from that, not much. Nothing else has really happened to this game. It's been quite a boring first half, apart from that, obviously, that first goal in like the whatever second it was, like 45th second. It was something ridiculous like that. And Kamara with a fantastic challenge, and he does give the ball away. I feel like if we were going to strengthen in the position, it's probably going to be left winger with either Kamara or Doggan departing the club. That's the only way we're going to strengthen. I don't think we need to strengthen anywhere else unless anyone leaves. Hugo Guillamon has requested the move, so potentially another defensive mid if we need to. Ars was lurking at the back post, but the ball couldn't quite get to him. But I think with 10 minutes left to go, I reckon we could definitely try and grab a second goal before the end of the first half. Ars has got the ball now to Elaine. now to Price. This is looking very good. Bellingham, who's been he's been all right this year. He hasn't really lived up to his the heights of his name. Obviously, being a Bellingham, obviously he's constantly. I reckon he's constantly compared to his older brother Jude, which probably doesn't help him. I expect in both in this game and in real life. So hopefully he can try and do something this second half of the season, because the first half he's had games where he's been really good. Then he's had games where he's just been absolutely awful. And today he's having a little bit of a quiet game. So hopefully he can try and come up with an assist or try and get a goal. That would be absolutely lovely. And Crystal Palace do hit the crossbar. We do just about get it out for a goal kick. For a goal kick, I thought that was a corner, but oh no, somebody must have been offside. But Gilchrist is going to rip out field. Do Crystal Palace really have a bunch of skyscrapers outside of the stadium? I don't think they do, but they are based in London, so there's a slight chance they might have some tall buildings the other side of the stadium. But I just noticed that it just seems a little weird. Tamani, now to Mourinho. Can we try and put some pressure on and hopefully make the defence make a mistake of some sorts, and hopefully we go on and grab a second goal from there? But I don't think that's going to happen. With Miranda has got the ball now to Disasi. This is looking quite promising for Crystal Palace. They do have a ball now to Page. This is not great at all, and thankfully Crystal Palace with the shot, they do put it just wide of the goal with a few minutes left to go of the first half. I think I will take a 1-1 draw heading into half time. The stats are fairly even, so and the possession's fairly even as well. So I definitely think the draw is the right outcome, but I still think we could grab a second goal if we just create a few more chances. It's gonna come eventually, so hopefully it will come in this game. Ideally a winning goal for us. If not, just end it as a draw. I don't really want to lose. Obviously, a win would be ideal, because a win will put us into sixth and in the playoff zone, which would be absolutely amazing, considering the poor start we had, where I thought we would be in another relegation battle. Obviously, the form has turned around slightly, so you never know. I think we are in the playoff battle. That's to be confirmed in the next few episodes. Ghana is going to come on for Mewit. I think we are going to make a couple more changes. Kamara is going to come off for Doggin. And I think Begsy also makes way for Ivan McNeil for what will be his final ever appearance for West Brom before he gets recalled. Whoever he's on loan from, I can't remember. I think it's Norwich. Is it Norwich? No, Fulham. That's his parent club. So he will be going back there. Whether or not he'll get any game time there remains to be seen. But he's just not had much game time here at all, because Begsy's been on fire. And Paul Young will be on fire soon when he starts playing up front. We've got 10 minutes left to go. Kelly has got the ball. It's not really the ideal place to have a ball where we want to try and hopefully get a second goal. But Elaine continues to move upfield. Now to Ars. Now to Elaine again. That's a lovely bit of travelling from Elaine. Finds Ars again. Really a lovely bit of link-up play between them two and Bellingham. With the strike that could have been in the back of the net to make it 2-1, but it did go out for a corner, which didn't lead to anything. But 5 minutes left to play. A late flow of action would be absolutely ideal, but I don't think that's going to happen. We are going to make a couple more changes. Daniel Kelly is going to make way for Mera, and I think Silva also makes way for... Don't have a right back or left back on the bench, which is slightly problematic with both fullbacks looking very tired. We will get off Joe Bellingham for Chris Rigg, who does need a little bit of game time. He hasn't played much, so we'll get him on today, see how we can do. And I think that'll be the final changes we shall make. Let's if we can, let's drop a little bit of encouragement, just in the hope we can possibly try and get a late winning goal. That would be absolutely wonderful, but I don't think it's going to happen. It is going to end in a 1-1 draw against league leaders Crystal Palace. So I think a 1-1 draw against them, a fantastic result. Obviously, a result where if we could have won, if we could have got a second goal, that would have put us in the playoff zone. But a 1-1 draw, I will take that all day long. Obviously, it hurts a little bit because we were 1-0 up, but I guess it's fine. We do have the FA Cup third round starting very, very soon, where we do play Wolves, which is actually a bit of a derby, but I'm not too fussed about the FA Cup. The board don't care about it. I think my main priority is trying to finish as high as we can in the Championship. January looks like a quiet month, to be fair. We've only got 4 league games, which is very, very good. We don't have many midweek games, which is I'm very thankful for. I think what we'll do is, obviously, should we get through to the latter stages of the FA Cup, we will probably try and focus on them. So I think we'll probably play through the whole of the January transfer window, then probably come back. I think end of February will be a good time for our games against Blackburn and Coventry. If you have enjoyed today's video, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more Daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.